Okay, well, there you go. With all that, house rules, right? This is recorded, respect confidentiality, no trolling. We want to create a safe environment. No links or marketing if you have something to brand, and engagement. This is for you, right? So I do want to hear from you guys in the chat. I do want to see what you have to say. And I'm long-winded and I have a lot of information here. So do prepare for giving it some time, okay? But I'll try to move along a little bit faster. So let's get into it. Most common limiting beliefs. All right, we'll start with love. Most common limiting beliefs with love is either self-sacrifice or self-love. Meaning if you take care of yourself, you're selfish, right? They say, "Oh no, how dare you think of yourself? Oh, you get something for you and not for everybody else, or you know, whatever it is, if they label you as selfish, and selfish is given this bad connotation. And I want to remove that. Okay, self-love and taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself is not selfish. It is, you have to put yourself first. You cannot give out of an empty cup. We have to understand that. We have to understand the psychology behind it and what it actually creates. Because when you are not putting yourself first, you are sending those messages to yourself. You're saying, I don't matter. Somebody else matters before me, right? And we often find that. And in a lot of our cultures, or actually gender roles, I would say, not even cultures, in a lot of our gender roles and what we've been taught, right, especially for women, is that we have to put others first, that we are nurturers and we're carers. And so how dare you, right, do for yourself first, or think about yourself first. You are not a good woman. You're not a good partner. You're not a good mother. You're not a good sister. You're not a good friend, right? If you don't think of others before you, if you don't sacrifice, right? So there's that idea of sacrificing. And we see that in so many ways, so many ways. I'm going to sacrifice for my children. I'm going to sacrifice for my partner. I'm going to sacrifice for my neighbors, for my friends, for my, family, and what that does is that it sends the wrong message to ourselves. And it doesn't do us any good because we find ourselves depleted. We're running around and we're not really, giving ourselves what we need. Okay. You have to understand, again, the psychology behind it, the messaging that you're giving, but you're also teaching others. You're teaching others how to treat you. That means you have no boundaries and people walk all over you. It means that, yes, it's beautiful that people know that they can depend on you. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? But they have to also know they could depend on me on this time. You could reach Lydia from this time to this time, right? Lydia may not always answer, but she'll get to you, right? So you're teaching others how to treat you. So we find ourselves, right, in situations where people are walking all over us, or, not even asking us, what do you want, right? Or if we don't even say what we want, they don't even push it. They just, okay, this is what we're doing, and don't even ask you. You could be uncomfortable and they're just used to that. They're used to leaving you uncomfortable. They're used to you being uncomfortable, right? You choosing to be uncomfortable. And so it's about what we're doing for ourselves, but what we are teaching others to do onto us. And so we find ourselves depleted. We find ourselves not feeling loved, not feeling heard, not feeling seen, not having a voice, right? And that's when we all of a sudden we're depressed, we're anxious, right? All of these, mental health issues start to pop up. Our bodies start to deteriorate. We get sick a lot. We have a lot of headaches. We feel fatigue, a lot of fatigue, right? Which means that we don't even have the energy. We don't even have the energy to go through our days, right? We get up and we're like, oh, we can hardly get up. Another day, because you're not even having joy. There's nobody looking out for you. And you've learned to not look out for yourself. So who's looking out for you? Food is done. Everybody got everything. House is clean. Everybody's organized. But then who has to clean it? They leave the clothes on the floor. They don't flush the toilet. You have to be cleaning every day. Have to understand that it starts with that. And we are taught this. This is passed down to us, particularly gender roles, right? For men, it shows up in different ways. As a provider, it's like all you have to do is provide. You have to work. Doesn't matter if you're tired. You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for others, right? You can't, forget about your own education, forget about what you need, right? Or, things like that. Men also suffer in a lot of ways. And, our culture, which is, of course, I'm not going to complain and I may be biased, we're really empowering women, but our men are really falling behind. They're really falling behind, also not understanding how to love themselves, also not understanding healthy love, right? Because they too learn it's okay to like treat a woman any other way. It's okay to have multiple women and not care about their feelings. It's okay to, not be the one to clean, all of these things. So this goes both ways. So you guys feel that one? You guys feel that one? Any examples that you can think of how maybe you do that or seen that in your household or seen that in others? Put it in the chat and, we can move on if there are examples. But again, all things for you guys to think about and really think about, when have I done this? Do I do this? Have I seen my mother do this? Have I seen my parents do this? Have I seen my brother, my cousins do this, right? Same thing. They find themselves in depression. They find themselves in depression. They find themselves anxious. They find themselves in conditions less than, right? And so that's where, and then that's perpetuated. Then they're angry, right? Then they're irritable. Then you're having tension, right? This is how it presents. Second limiting belief is love is not for me. Love is not for me. It's like, oh, that's not for me. Finding the right person isn't for me. I should always settle. Take what I can get. I'll take what I can get, right? Can't be picky. Can't be choosy, right? Love isn't for me. I'm not going to find that. I have all these defects. So who's going to love me? No. There is absolutely someone for you. But I'll tell you why that happens. Because you're not showing others how to treat you. You're not making it apparent to others. The people that you're choosing are people you're giving too many chances, or you're not setting the standard, right? And you're allowing to accept less than. We dictate, guys. We are the ones that dictate who enters our lives. Is the people that we allow into our lives. And let me tell you, a lot of you guys know me. I suffered from this for a long time. Always going out with people that just weren't at my level, right? I mean, I've worked hard for where I've been, but yet I was dating these like nobodies, right? And what did that end up leaving me with? Always living off of me having to pay everything, giving me very little and me accepting it, just wanting the attention, giving me a little bit of attention and stroking ego, whatever it is, but not anything more, right? Not being loyal, right? Not being up to par, just not at the same standard. And then a lot of that came from, I felt damaged. I felt, oh, I'm big, or, I'm lucky if I can even get anything, right? And that came from that. Again, limiting belief. We dictate, but we have to love ourselves. We have to know and treasure ourselves in order to demand that. And we have to have faith that it is out there. And it happens with how we sort. If we are just taking any schmo, Joe, or whatever they can give us, then that's all we're going to get, right? The opposite side of that is I don't need it. It's like the hyper independent, as they're talking about now, the hyper independent woman, right? That is what that also entails. I don't need it. I also fell victim to that. It's like, oh, I got my career. I got me. I don't need a man to provide for me. I don't need a man to come and, and take me out, because I can take myself out. Bull S. Okay? Because guess what? Yeah, I do need it. I can't be coming out of my pocket all the time, So yes, I do actually need it, right? So this idea of not needing it, or that you got it, or that you're independent enough, doesn't work either. We need people, and we need a good partner, right? Because it really makes up such a large part of our lives, whether it's a partner, intimate partner, but even friends. That even goes with friends, right? When we sacrifice and it's all about our friends and not about ourselves, that also doesn't work. Okay. So we have to understand that. Third one, unhealthy love patterns. Unhealthy love patterns, which is a little bit of everything that I talked about, right? Sacrificing ourselves, not setting the standard, also falling into toxic love patterns of abuse, people that are neglectful, or people that, can be abusive, verbally, mentally, emotionally. Like emotional, when somebody's emotionally unavailable, that is very damaging to us. And what does that mean, to be emotionally unavailable? That they don't really care about what you're feeling. They don't really care to even ask, right? They don't really, think about is these dynamics, again, where you're giving and not receiving. These dynamics, this often falls into people that may be attracted to narcissists, right? That it's all about them. We fall into this pattern of feeling guilty, and so we perpetuate those patterns. So we're always seeking, always looking, always trying to receive that validation, always trying to prove to someone how good we are, right? We turn into those unhealthy patterns, right? Or being very selfish and finding the people that really cling to us, right? Finding partners or friends that are the ones that really cling to us, that really need more of us, which again leaves us depleted. We're starting to see a little bit of that cycle, right? And it comes from these limiting beliefs, right? Fourth one, worthlessness, right? Deserving love, thinking you're too much, you're unlovable, right? Because I'm not the full package, because I don't have this, because I don't make enough, because I don't look a certain way, because again, that idea of damaged goods, right? Just feeling that worthlessness, that you don't deserve that kind of love, that you don't deserve to demand, because how dare you demand, right? You'll lose them. Having that fear that you'll lose people, having that fear, if I demand too much, I'll lose them. So what? Let them go. Because if they don't want to, if they're not willing to care for you, right? Care about what you want, care about what you need, care about, really be able to provide and support you, they they should leave. They don't deserve you, quite frankly. But you have to see it that way. You have to believe it in that way in order to demand it in that way, right? This idea with love also, this other one is someone saved me. That's a big one. It's like, if only when someone comes and saved me, I need a partner so I can have a double income home. I need a partner to, so I can feel better. I need a partner to tell me so I can dress up more. I need a partner to come into my life for me to be able to, think I'm worthy or feel beautiful or feel sexy. Someone saved me. That happens in career, that happens in our finances, that happens in our health even. It's like, well, if I have the right circle around me, then maybe I'll get healthy. Maybe I'll start working out. Maybe, with the right people, in the right circle. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody. There is not a single person or soul that will come to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. We must be our own hero. Your life is your reality because of the choices that you make, because of the actions that you take. And the choices that you make and the actions that you take come from what you believe. If you believe yourself capable, if you believe that you can do it, if you could believe that that is capable, that it's possible for you, why not me? Why can't I, have a partner that, is able to take me out? Why can't I have a partner that looks good and is healthy? Why can I not look good and healthy myself? Right? Why can I, and I say healthy and look good, and that has no determination of size, because let me tell you, even in my biggest, I was fly, right? I was a fly girl. I always been, I always will be. Okay. So it has nothing to do with that. It's about, again, how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, that you look at yourself and you're like, ooh, you looking cute, girl. Look at you. Look at your freckles. Look at that hair. I like your hair today. I like that tone. That's what it's about. Nobody's coming to do that for you. Nobody. You have to do it for yourself, because we emulate and we attract what we believe in ourselves. So if you want someone that, likes to dress up, you got to dress up so you can attract that. If you like someone that likes to handle their business, you got to handle their business so you can, your business, so you can attract that, right? You want someone that's a go-getter, you have to also be active so you can attract that. We have to be and become what we actually want in our lives, because once we do it, it'll just come. I guarantee you the doors will open. It will just come because the psychology changes too. Because if I look good, I'm not going to be with some bum, right? Unless you, like I told you, feel like you aren't worthy of it, or you're afraid that, something else you can't obtain. And again, that's go back to limiting beliefs. That's what used to happen to me. While I was very confident, I would still accept these partners that were not up to par because internally, I felt damaged. So even though I really faced forward with confidence inside, I didn't feel that I truly was worth it or deserved it. Play and pleasure. That's another one. This idea that life is sacrifice. Let me tell you, no. You have to, again, attract that energy. You want to exude sexiness. You have to feel sexy. You have to do the things that feel sexy. You have to, again, look good for yourself. Smell good for yourself. Attract yourself. Get yourself worked up and horny. Be like, oh, girl, look at them juices. I love it. You have to activate. It's like activating the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra has to do with our sexuality, has to do with our pleasure, with play, with creativity. You have to activate that. How do you activate that? I always say, I call it feeling delicious. And whatever that means, masturbating if you have to masturbate to get those juices flowing, being able to dance just so you can feel sexy, move, feel your curves. I mean, really, literally, feel your curves. Look at yourself and feel them. If you don't like, if you feel like your body isn't up to par, just even you in the dark, feel your curves and how delicious they feel. Your butt, your breasts, your like shoulders. Like, okay, girl, you got to feel it. You got to feel yourself. And, play and pleasure, especially in our society, is, it's supposed to be hush hush, right? And for women especially, right? You're not supposed to have sexuality. From a lot of religions, that is, really like taboo, is really frowned upon, to be sexy, to talk about sex, to be sexual, to have fun, right? It's like, oh, I don't have any, I have no money, so how can I go out? I have no money, so how can I do my nails? I'm short on cash, so how can I even think about going out and doing this thing for myself? You have to cultivate those experiences. Those experiences are what give you that energy. Those are the things that activate you. So you got to make sure that you do them. Everything has to be a balance. Of course, you have to work hard. Of course, you have to budget. Of course, you have to live in with those means, but you also have to have fun. And there's ways to having fun without having to put out money. There's ways of having fun without by yourself, even, right? Be it, playing music, be it like, art, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, you find it, singing, dancing, find the way to always activate yourself. That's what we call raising your vibration. If you're feeling down, get up and move, get up and activate yourself. You feeling like, you had a bad breakup, look at yourself in the mirror, be like, we're going out tonight. We're going to find us some. All right. So play and pleasure is really usually frowned upon, but we have to always include it in order to, again, really from the inside in an energetic level, activate those things in ourselves so we can bring it forth into our lives. So those are common limiting beliefs with love. Anything that you guys know that maybe I've missed, any comments on those, anything that anybody would like to add, just put it in the chat. You could always unmute yourself, and if you want to have a conversation with me, I would love it even more. So it's not just me talking, but anything that anything that you guys think I missed, or any examples maybe of limiting beliefs with love. Giving y'all a second. No? Okay. There's no, you think I covered it all? Think that's pretty much what it looks like? Give me an amen. Something in the chat. Are we ready to move on? Exactly. So I'm going to read it out loud, Sarah, because it's absolutely true. We often think I'm never going to find someone, and it could be for a variety of reasons, right? We think we're not going to find someone because we're too difficult, right? We're too difficult. We're too picky. We're too much, right? All of those ideas, like who's going to love me, or how can I find the right person, right? Yes, but I didn't realize it had everything to do with you. Absolutely. If you think you're too much, you're projecting that. If you think that you got, there's things about you that everybody got flaws, guys. Nobody's perfect out here. And that partner that comes into your life showing perfect, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with funky feet. You're going to have to deal with gas. You're going to have to deal with morning breath. Ain't nobody out here that's perfect. So if you're feeling, it has to do with you. Absolutely. It has to do with how you feel about yourself. And you have to go out there and be like, hey, I know I'm a catch. So where's my catch? Where's the person that, actually is at my level? It's not, maybe I'll find something. No, it's actually you're testing them out. You're like, hey, are you good enough for me? Not, am I good enough for you? Are you good enough for me? And that's the mentality that we have to have when we're going out there, especially for love, especially when it comes to partnership. If we're in the dating scene, are you good enough for me? These are my standards. Do you meet those? Because I know what I come with. But you have to know what you come with. You have to be confident in what you come with, right? All of it. We all have flaws. So there's lots of good things that we have, and we have to really be proud of, okay, and love the good things that we have. Well, thank you for that, Sarah. Thank you so much. So going on to money. Okay, this is a big one, right? Woo! Hey, I'm going to try to, I told you I'm long-winded, so I apologize even now. But let me tell you, most common limiting beliefs about money. This is a big one. And this is one that everybody can really, really relate and resonate to, because obviously, that's why there's only 1% of the population that is billionaires and millionaires. Okay, only 10% of the population that actually makes money. And why is that? Why is that? Limiting beliefs. No, hands down, limiting beliefs. Even those that are in middle income, even those that are high income, but still not that 10% of that 1%. Guarantee you, limiting beliefs. You build your wealth. Now, wealth takes some time, maybe. That's a limiting belief. It doesn't take time. You could become a millionaire tomorrow. You could, hit the jackpot. You could, create something. You could just all of a sudden boost all of your income. Get into the right circle. It can happen like this. But we believe that it cannot, because that's what we've been taught. Oh, no, money has to be built. Wealth has to be built. How am I going to do that? Because I'm here. I'm at this bracket. How am I going to get from here to there? Trust me. Trust me. The minute you open up, it will happen. I have experience moving up my brackets because of that. Now, I know that I am not in that 1% because I too still have limiting beliefs that I'm working on. I'm very aware of, and I'm doing it. Right? But that is, there are limiting beliefs about money. Not for me, not for us. That's not something we can do. We can't, we can't spend, we can't go on vacations. We got to save all our coins. We can't, actually take some time off. What, if I don't get paid, what am I going to do? My rent isn't going to be due, or whatever the case is. Not for me. That's not for us. We can't go on vacations or multiple vacations. Let me tell you, where there's a will, there's a way. When you start saying, you have to switch it to not, I can't do this, or this, I don't think this can happen. You got to switch it to, how am I going to make this happen? Where do I find it? I know the money's out there. There is so much money. There is so much money out there. You have to see it that way. You have to see there is so much money out there. And I can grab it. I can feel it. I can bring it to me. Money always comes to me. Money freely flows to me. Money easily comes to me. Easily and effortlessly comes to me every day. Millions of dollars get deposited into my bank account every day. These are the affirmations to start to switch those beliefs. Money is made to be spent. Money is an exchange of energy. These are the switches that we have to do. Money is not meant to be kept and just hoarded. Money is energy. Let me tell you, money is energy like a lover. It wants to be used. It wants to be loved. It wants to be multiplied. Okay? Money is like a lover. You must love money. You must love money so it can love you, because money wants to go to whomever will multiply it. Will say, ooh, I got $10. Now I'll make 20. Now I'll make 40. Now I'll make 30. That's where the money goes, because money is like a lover, a delicious lover. So it is for everyone. It isn't for just some people. It isn't just for that 1%. Money is out here for everyone. It's about you accessing it. And you access it if you believe that you have access to it. If you believe that you have a right to it. Wealth is all of our birthright. It is for all of us because wealth is an exchange of energy. Remember, everything is energy. So if we have these ideas about money, it's in limited supply. It's unattainable to me, right? Limited supply, unattainable. Then we're pushing it away. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. If I'm thinking, oh no, I got to save my money. I got to save my money. I can't waste it. I can't, use it. I can't utilize it. Same thing happens with credit. Oh no, I got to protect my credit. What is credit for? Credit and money is to make it work for you. Make credit and money work for you. Of course, you got to pay it back. I'm not saying don't pay it back, but you got to make it work for you. If you taking out this credit helps you into an endeavor that's going to make and multiply your money, that's what you use it for. Money is not limited. It must be multiplied. It is energy. I want you to remember that if you write anything down. Money is like a lover. It wants to be used, loved, and multiplied. Okay, remember that. And you start to reframe that. Another one is that it's the root of all evil. Money is not evil. Who uses money for evil may be evil, but money is not evil because money in the right hands is beautiful. It creates opportunity. It creates expansion. It creates lifestyle. It creates quality of life. It creates possibility for so many. So money is not a evil. It's how you use it. Another one is guilt. I suffer this, and I actually, got to work through that very recently because, and I thank my very good friend who helped me work through that, because recently I discovered what a limiting belief I had about money is that I felt guilty because I had more money than people around me. I felt guilty. So I would get money and I would quickly want to use it or give it, quickly want to give it away. But that energy is me pushing money away, is me feeling I'm not worthy of it, that I'm not deserving of it. But I am deserving of it. I'm here, all the years I put, to study, to get my degree, and the work that I do, I absolutely earn that money. So I should be proud and love it because it is a reflection of the work that I have put out. Again, money is an exchange of energy, right? Money is it's the exchange for the value of my love. That's how I now see it. It is the value of my love. The work that I put out, that is why I receive money, because it is an exchange for the value of my love, of my work, of my energy. So, feeling guilty that you have it and you want to give it away. Yes, I since very young wanted to be a philanthropist. Absolutely. And that is still my mission. My mission is to create opportunities for philanthropy and to teach others that we are responsible for our society, for our planet, right? But I do need money to do that, don't I? I need money to be able to build, programs, schools even, to be able to teach people how to make money, right? I need money to do that. So I need to love money. I need to love money and understand that I make money valuable. We created money. What's money? Money is a creation. We created it. We created money. Money is literally a piece of paper with ink on it. Why does it have any value? We give it value. So understand you give it value and you put that energy into money, right? Again, to be spent, to be flossed. Money is to look good. Money is to front. Money is not to front. Money is to use something. Again, to multiply it and use it and love it and produce it. Produce more of it. It's not to flaunt, because when you use it for things like just, flaunting it or something, you're using money with the wrong energy, right? You're using money to represent something that isn't of value. Does that make sense there? I hope that makes sense there, because that's a tricky one to understand, right? And you using your money and living comfortably is not flaunting it. Okay, I want to make that correction and that distinction. You use money to give you the life that you want. You use money to give you the quality of life that you deserve. You deserve that. You worked for that. So that's not flaunting. I mean, when you're buying Gucci bags and you can't pay your rent. That's flaunting it. That means you're pretending. You're using it to look good and not to really for it to be a value in your life or the lives of those that you love. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to y'all? I can clarify on that if that doesn't make sense. The difference there. You are to use money to give yourself the lifestyle. You want to travel, you want to have nice things, you want to have a nice home, you want to have absolutely that is what money's for. Why? Because it creates your reality and it fuels you. But you don't use it when it's not adding value to your life, right? And having something that isn't really adding to your life, it's just to look good or to pretend, that doesn't really add value to you or others. It's about the energy behind it. So again, to be kept a secret, right? To be guarded, to be saved. Money is to be spent, y'all. Money is an exchange. You say, I got this from my hard work and I'm going to put it in this. But again, what do you put it into? And that includes giving yourself that life. That includes giving your loved ones that lives. That includes being able to take yourself on trips. That includes in you creating the home that you want and having the nice couches and the nice TVs and the nice things. Absolutely, money is for that. Absolutely. Because you're creating the life that you have earned, right? You're creating the life that allows you to be comfortable and that allows you to continue what? Believing in the capacity of it. Very tricky, right? Very tricky. It's about what money means mentally, the energy that it means and how you're saying it. Another one is investment is risky. Investment is not risky. You do have to make calculated risk, right? You do have to make calculated risk, but it is not risky because investment is something that's really, really wise. It's really wise to invest. Invest in yourself. You put out money for that. Invest in your whatever it is, your growth, your development, you put money into that, right? Invest into like maybe creating wealth. You put money into that. Investment is actually very wise, but you invest it for your, again, value. We get that? Do we all get that? It's about creating value for yourself, quality of life for yourself in all capacities, because that adds to the energy, right? Another thing about money is that maybe you have nothing to offer or there's nothing that you can give or provide that is of value to get that. And this goes into like when we're pricing things for our work, right? If we have businesses or even in jobs, even the salary that we accept. No. Understand that what you do and what you offer is worth that higher salary, is worth asking for that promotion, is worth, having high ticket prices. That is the value of your work. So value your work correctly, right? Don't undermine your work, your energy, right? With low prices. Because it's the same idea, y'all. What are you telling yourself? If you're busting your behind every day and you're waking up and you're putting out this energy, guess what? Pay me. Pay me for it. Because I know what I bring. And it's worth more than this. Right? It's worth more than that. Any questions on that before we move on? Any additional money ideas? Anybody else want to share? Do you think I covered things about money? All right. You're free to put anything at any time. But we're going to move on to career and purpose, which already kind of melts into this, right? With your career and purpose, the limiting beliefs is that you need education. You do not. Especially nowadays. I mean, you could go on TikTok and monetize and, make more than my whole, what's it called? My whole school debt, my whole school loans. Okay. So it's not about education. It's about feeling limited, feeling that, there's limitations. Other challenges is obligations with family. No, you can find a way. There's countless of people and examples that went to school while working, while raising a family. You can do it. It's all about the challenges. So don't act like I can't don't think of it as, oh, but this obstacle is in my way. Guess I can do it. No, how can I do it? How do I make it happen? What am I going to do to make it happen? Which way do I find to make it happen? How to switch that? Nothing to offer. Again, your energy, your value will always be something that is of value to offer. Even our energies, even if you're someone that's just a cheerleader, hey, Cheerleaders make money. It's a whole career, right? What's the difference? You sitting there cheering everybody on, not getting a dime, and here's like, cheerleaders getting paid as a whole career at it. You get that? Like, am I making that sense? Like, it's all about how you think about it. It's all about how you think about it. Everything that you are putting out from the moment that you wake up is of value. It is of value. And you just have to really think about, how do I monetize this? How do I create, how do I create an opportunity for an exchange? Because remember, it's an exchange. How do I create an opportunity for exchange? Career, another limiting belief is the job mentality. And I mean that because we should all be striving for multiple streams of income. That's what I mean by that. We should all be striving for multiple streams of income. You see, especially within the generations that we come from, what school taught us is just to work in the workforce. And so the entrepreneurial mindset is something that is relatively new within maybe the last 10 years or so, right? Entrepreneurial mindset. And the thing is that we could always have a side hustle. So your job may be your staple, maybe your primary, but there's always a side hustle. And look for ways to get that side hustle, because we should always be thinking multiple streams of income. I mean, there's a little girl on YouTube that was painting rocks, collected rocks off of the beach every day and painting them, and boom, sold them on YouTube. Became a millionaire. This 8-year-old from painting rocks. Any of y'all got kids? Use your kids. Make a YouTube. Here's my little baby girl. She got these rocks. She painted these rocks. Bam. I'm so serious. I'm about to put, my daughter Yaya to do some things, because it's the truth. It's about how can I create a multiple stream of income? What can I also offer? Maybe in your job, you're not able to be creative, but you are a creative person. Do something creatively, right? Offer a service creatively. I could go decorate your home. I could do this. I could do that. But thinking, I don't have time. I'm already tired. Listen, you can make time, even if it's 1 hour, once a week, even if it's 30 minutes, once a week. It'll get there. But you're offering something. But you see, that's a limiting belief, that I don't have time. I don't have energy. You don't have to do much. But even if you do a little bit, little by little, that will grow into something. And number two, things will always take time to grow sometimes, because again, limiting belief, because it could just explode. It could explode. So that's a limiting belief. But most often it takes time to grow. So if you stick in it, it will grow. Okay. And you just stay consistent, it will grow. Just like social media. With social media, how you create a following, you just post consistently. You post consistently and it starts to grow, starts to grow, starts to grow. Career, again, I already talked about. So perfectionism. Perfectionism is a really, really, really big one. And a lot of people suffer from perfectionism. Perfectionism is a lie. It is a lie. I'll tell you that it is a lie, because nothing can be perfect. And the biggest thing that will stop you from even starting is trying to have it perfect. I'm guilty of that too. I'm totally guilty of that too. It's like, oh, but I don't have everything ready. I don't have all the pieces. It took me so long to even come up for a masterclass, because that's what I believed. That I needed to have everything ready. That I needed to have I needed to have the following. I needed to have the information. I needed to have the time. I needed to that. You know what? I'm loving this. I don't even care. It's free. I'm giving this time for free, and I am loving it. Guess what? This is igniting me. This is me building and creating energy for myself, and hopefully, most hopefully, for you guys, right? So it's that easy. Start small. Always think about bite-sized portion. Always think about bite-sized portions. You see something, if we think about it this big, the big thing, the role that has to happen, right? Then it becomes too overwhelming. We have to take that and we have to scale it down. What to make it digestible? What can I do little by little? What can I do today for that? What can I do right now for that? What can I do in this second for that? Bite-sized portion. Where can I start today about that, right? Bite-sized portion. So perfectionism is the biggest lie. Nothing will ever be perfect, and it will all that perfectionism is doing is delaying you from actually getting it. Because guess what? Trial and error, right? Failure, for instance. Failure is part of the process. We have to see failure as part of success. Okay, it is not the opposite. It is part of success. because it's through failure that we trial and error and perfect, or improve, rather, I will say, because again, perfectionism isn't real. We improve and build upon it. And the only way that we know that is by trying some things. Oh, I tried this, that didn't work. Okay, pivot. That didn't work. Okay, pivot. That didn't work. Okay, pivot. And then before we know it, we have a formula. We have an improved formula. We have the formula that works, right? But we have to give ourselves that. We have to start somewhere, because if we don't start somewhere, we'll never start. We'll never do, right? So no role models, nobody to pave the way. I don't know how to do this. Girl, especially these days, I'm gonna say girls because there's no guys right now in here. YouTube University. YouTube University teaches you everything. Okay. And we didn't have that in our day. We didn't have no YouTube University. We hardly had social media in our day. Right. And like I told you, I had no role models. I had nobody telling me, but I said, I'm gonna find out what I gotta do, who I gotta talk to. Okay. Let me ask a question. You know, what group, what class, what thing I could get into. Let me look for it. Let me find out. Let me go, again, back then there wasn't no Google that we could go to. Let me go to the community center, see what programs they have. And that was back then. Now it's like, bloop, in our phones, done. Done. Okay. So you don't need nobody to teach you, because sometimes what we have to offer or what we got is not even out there. Nobody has even thought of it. Or the way that you need to do it isn't the way that somebody else did it. So you got to figure out your own way, right? You just figure out your own way. So you don't need anybody to teach you. You don't need for a script to already be done. You just have to start, right? Another limiting belief: gender roles, family, cultural expectations, right? And again, we have moved a lot past that in our times, but it still holds us to it sometimes. Because it's like, oh, going back to love even, well, I have to be a good woman in order to keep my man, right? So, I have to be able to cook. I have to be able to do laundry. No. Today we create our own rules. Between you and that person, you create those rules. You say, okay, honey, let's share the responsibilities. This week, we both do laundry. We alternate the weeks on laundry, right? We were able to do that. And I say this, and this is important for career and purpose, because if some of the limitations or some of the things holding you back, it's like, oh, I got these kids, or I got to do this, even with the kids, okay, you old enough, you got to clean. You old enough, you got to do laundry. You got to help mama. You got to help daddy. You got to be able to do this, right? That is no longer a limitation. Make other people accountable and responsible. We don't have to take everything on ourselves, right? We don't have to make it hard. We don't have to make it hard for ourselves. We got to find ways to make it easier. So I already talked about failure and success. Again, failure is a part of success. You have to incorporate it as part of success. You can't be afraid that you're going to fail. You have to understand that, yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, things will not work out, but you just keep going. You just keep trying some other way. You just learn from it and do it better. Be more efficient. I hope that's landing with you guys. I hope that's landing. And again, stepping out of our comfort zone. Very big one, right? Oh, this is all I know. This is where I'm going to stick. I ain't going to try nothing new. Then you're not going to have any change. If you don't try anything new, you're just going to stay exactly where you are with the life that you have. And the truth is that most of us are not happy with the lives that we have, because we're either battling depression, we're either battling poor health, we're either battling anxiety, we're either battling, just living, above our means, or not living a good quality of life. So you want change. If you're here in this class, you want change, right? You want growth. And that's not going to happen from where you are. You already got everything that you're going to get from where you are, right? You're only going to get more if you do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You're not going to get anything different if you keep doing what you're doing. You have got to step out of your comfort zone. So I'm trying to speed this up a little bit, but let me know if I'm going too fast. All right. Any thoughts on career and purpose? Anything I missed on the limiting beliefs? Please put it in the chat. And if you're feeling this, let me know. If you like, girl, you bugging out, you tell me too. Or if you're like, get on with it, tell me too. I take no offenses. This is, like I said, I'm having fun here. There's everything that I think. There's everything that I am. There's everything that I've done in my life. And so it is a privilege. It is an honor to share it. and hope that it helps people as well. Okay, so we're going to move on if there's nothing that. So we go with health, limiting beliefs about health, because I want to get into reprogramming. So we, same thing with health, mind, body, spirit, big misconception. The mind controls us. The mind is a machine. The mind is a tool to help us. The mind wants to help us. The problem is that if what you have been taught or what you have been doing for a long time is thinking negatively, the mind is just going to do what it thinks that you want it to. I'm going to say that again. The mind is a machine and it wants to work for us. So everything that it's doing right now, it thinks that we want it. It thinks that it's doing good for us. So you have to understand that you control the mind. The mind does not control you. Okay? These thoughts, if you're used to thinking negatively or you used to thinking anxiously, like anxiously means like you worry. You think about the worst that can happen. You think about things not working out. You think about, the things that to be afraid of, right? That's having more anxious thoughts. If that's how you think, the mind will always lead you to think that way. But if you say, no, that's not how I'm going to think, I'm actually going to think positive, then it's going to think positive. If you tell it, no, I don't want it to go that way, I want it to go this way, and you do that enough, it's going to do that. And that we'll head into that with reprogramming. That the body is too weak or not strong enough. That I feel fatigued, that I can't do it. Let me tell you, biggest reason why the body is fatigued is because you're not living the life that you want. And that is very depleting. And because you're not taking care of your body the way that you need to. That is very depleting. You're not giving your body what it needs in order to actually be healthy. Another one is about substances. I myself suffer from anxiety. I get anxious. And like I told you, a large part of before was that I would use food as a coping mechanism. Substances, alcohol, food, including food, anything else that encompasses substances, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's, things of that nature, they're all substances and it's coping mechanisms. We use it as coping. And so we think we can't deal with it. So, substances to help, even with the body. We are living in a culture that has become accustomed to using, these external things to get healthier. But if we actually gave our body, like medication, right? Like big pharma, we're fighting big pharma. So if we actually gave our body the nutrients that it needs, if we actually gave our body the optimization that it needs through the energy levels, through also managing stress well, then we actually are going to be healthier. Right? And so then we're not going to be suffering from these medical issues where we have to take these medications. Because I guarantee you, any doctor that you go to is going to give you some medication. And I'm talking about Western medication, Western philosophies and doctors. That's why I delved into more of the Eastern, because it deals more with the energy levels and the meridian points and the body in order to regulate itself. And that's why I really was prompted to that kind of school of thought, because I saw the differences. Here in the Western side, it's all about using external substances in order to help ourselves. And that is actually damaging because we're stopping our body from being able to produce it itself. And we're stopping our body from actually learning how to adapt and be healthy. And we're also creating the habits where, it makes it easy, right? So it makes it easy. So we're not working as hard. And so the body gets used to that. That's why it's hard to work out if you don't work out all the time. But if you work out all the time, you find it much easier. I can testify. I'm telling you, you guys know, I can testify. Working out was such a big deal for me, such a hard thing. Consistency was such a hard thing. I mean, years and years of not being able to really pull through, literally just not being able to do it. But now, if I don't work out, I feel it. Now I love being able to work out. Now I don't go crazy. I do light stuff. I don't go crazy. I do light stuff because I'm not a gym buff either, right? But I do enough that I'm giving my body what it needs. So unhealthy environments. This is a big one. I really want to talk about unhealthy environments, the 5 senses. We have 5 senses, y'all, and 6 even for some. But we have 5 senses, right? We have our sight, we have our hearing, we have our touch, right? Feeling, we have taste, right? And we have a smell. 5 senses. Our environment is made up of the 5 senses. If you're listening to crap all day, that's how that's your mind is going to believe that. If you're seeing negative things like the news and seeing death and seeing this and seeing that, that's what the mind is going to be fed into. If you are, in environments, even smell, honestly, like unpleasant smelling environments, then you're in a it changes your mood. You're in a bad mood. You feel disgusting, right? It feels like that. It feels heavy. It feels fatigue, right? Tasting, of course, tasting bad things. And not only tasting bad things, artificial things. Artificial things. We lose our senses, right? There's foods that's so high in sodium that we can't even eat regularly. Diets that are so high in sugar that we can't even have things, natural things aren't good for us. We don't even like it, right? And so taste is really good. So why do we even like food? Why is food such a big thing? Because it's a sensory pleasure. Food is a sensory pleasure. So if you're eating something you don't like, you're not gaining much from it. But if you're eating something that tastes like amazing, you're like, oh, this is so good. You feel good. I know I dance when I eat. Whenever I eat, I'm always doing a little dance with good food. So good versus evil with health, what's good and what's bad, it's all about moderation. I'll tell you that, because it doesn't mean I'm out here telling you to be no sugar, no salt, no nothing. No, it's about moderation. There is no right way to do it. You find the way to do it for you, right? You find how to modify it, how to have balance for you, okay? Another unhealthy thing is comparison and envy, right? That's really what's really damaging about social media, is that we're looking at things and we're looking at like, oh, this person, even my story where I was able to lose weight, somebody could be thinking, oh, well, that's her. I can't do that. Or, I had surgery. So it's like, oh, she did it because it's surgery, whatever the case. And we're comparing ourselves and we have envy. And that just brings like all this bad energy in our heart. We're not thinking about what we can do. Forget about what anybody else is doing. It's what I call mind your business. Mind your business, guys. The best thing you could do is mind your business. And you know what that means? What do I got to do? Oh, I feel some type of way about my health. What do I got to do? I feel some type of way about my money. What do I got to do? I feel some type of way about my job. What do I got to do? I feel some type of way about my relationship. What do I got to do? Mind your business. Because watching somebody else and thinking and feeling about, them versus you is only going to give you what? That limiting belief. Oh, they get it because of this. Oh, they have it because of that. Or I never got those opportunities, so of course they're going to have it. Who cares? It doesn't matter where you're at. You could always build. You could always have. Because again, if you change that mindset, that it is accessible to me. Wealth is my birthright. I don't care that the 1% is the one that has it, or the 10% or the 25%. And I was maybe born into that lower bracket. I don't care. I know money can be for me. I know love can be for me. Why not me? Why not me? Right? And so it's that changing that mindset, understanding, right? Understanding what those things are. Understanding. Love. What is love? This is a big one. What is love, guys? What is love? Put it in the chat. What are some examples of love? What do you think love is? Give me some examples of what love is. What is healthy love? What are some examples? Love for yourself, love for others. Okay. Trust, yes. Feeling safe, meaning, right? Loyalty, transparency, right? Because if somebody's out there, lying to you, that's not love. Because if they love you, they're going to be honest with you. You understand that? Do you understand that? If they love you, they are not going to put you in harm's way. If they are lying to you, it's because they don't want to lose you. And they are loving themselves more than they love you. So that's not love. That's not loving you. You get that? Does that make sense? Right? What else can be love? What else is like self-love? What other things are love? Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. And yes, the recording will be available. Thank you. I told everybody I'm going to be long-winded, so I'm just talking to my bunch right now, but I'm going to finish this presentation just because it's being recorded. But yes, you guys understand, right? Love being that way. The other one is my way or the only way. You got to understand, right? like they say, the world is made up of many colors. There is no one way. There is no right way. It's about finding your way and about accepting others, right? We judge and we sit there. I don't know why she does that like that. I don't know why she do this. You know what? That's not love either. Love everybody. Love everybody by giving them grace, by understanding that that's just their way for the reasons that they are, which goes again, mind your business. If it ain't harming you, don't worry about it. Don't judge it either. Don't judge it either, right? Judgment is a big thing. Don't judge it because judgment hurts your spirit. How we see and treat others, we're doing it to ourselves. We are all one. We are all extensions of ourselves. So if you're judging someone, you're also judging yourself. You judge yourself then. And so that's why gossip and judgment are a big thing that really are debilitating to our spirit, because we are one. We are all that the same. We all come from the same. And so for me to judge one person because they do it that way or the other way, it's just, I'm doing the same to myself. They can be saying the same to me, and that's not fair to me or them. So I'm going to move on from here. Continue to put anything in the chat that you want to do. But how it presents, I've covered all of this while I've been talking about it. So that works, right? Learned behavior. We enroll in drama. Divide and conquer, the fear mentality, which our society is big on. That's how the powerful keep in power, right? Is a fear mentality. It's, oh no, don't do this, or you can't do this, or this isn't for you, or this isn't in your bracket, right? And things like that. Distractions, empty instant gratification. So distractions really are something that keep us from actually minding our business and doing what we need to for ourselves. Does that make sense? Right? Distractions keep us from minding our business. We get distracted, so we don't do what we need to for ourselves. We don't do what we need to for ourselves, right? Personality mixed with environment means that, if let's say, and this happens, it's just like the fact of like everything was blamed on the mother. And the reality is that every parent does their best, but parents are, they are interacting with this new being. And so how you as a person are and your environment and how it interacts, it may be hurtful or damaging to you, right? So if you're told to shut up, then you learn that you can't speak, right? If you're told that you never stay still, then you learn that you're too much, right? And so it's a personality mixed with the environment. And with children, we have to, and unfortunately, we just don't do this. We don't know how to do this because as parents, we're busy and, we're just trying to like get through the day, that we don't really listen to our kids. We don't really let them grow into themselves and honor their spirits. And so that's what happens, just like it happens to us, right? If our parents believe that it should be one way, we're made to feel small and like we have no control, right? This is what I said, because I said so, right? That kind of stuff. And so that often happens. Traumas, of course, play a big part, and traumas are built from our interaction with our environment, and especially anytime that we were made to feel unsafe for whatever reason, right? Even if we're in households where our parents yelled, we were made to feel unsafe, right? And so these limiting beliefs stem from those ways. And so the way it presents is through our perspective, through our choices, through our habits, through our limited beliefs about our capacity, like what we can do, what we're allowed to do, what we deserve. We become short-sighted in our vision with money, with love, with career. We settle, we have rigid thinking as well. So again, it goes back to the like my way or this way or that's the way, or perfectionism, or failure, can't do it. And a really, really, really big one that shows up all across is lack of boundaries. We have lack of boundaries for others, lack of boundaries, in our standards, and we're afraid to ask for what we want or our demands. And that happens again if in our environments we weren't nurtured in that way. Then what we learn is that we can't ask what we want, or we're trying to make up for it, right? Does anybody need any clarification on that? Because I'm going to try to move on. Okay, so that's why, and that's how it presents. Really big. So again, can anybody relate? Any thoughts? I've been asking along the way. Anybody want to chime in? I'm going to give it a few seconds. No? Okay. So we're moving on. Reprogramming. Okay, this is where I really want to get to, is how do you reprogram? Energy leads the way. Love and manifestation. It's all the things that I've already mentioned to you guys. You see, the body, the mind, the spirit is connected. Our thoughts stem from our beliefs. How we think and how we see the world stem from our beliefs. Our beliefs are cultivated when we are really young, because it is our first interaction with the world. So whatever that was like is what constructs our negative core beliefs. And let me tell you, core beliefs, we can reconstruct them, but those impulses always remain. Because like I told you, I still get anxious. When I get anxious, I still want to snack. I've run past lots of things, but that impulse still happens because the way I originally learned how to cope was with food. And so that impulse still exists, right? So we have to pay attention to that. Energy leads the way. It's about how you feel, how you think about things. And so releasing energy. And that's when we talk about being able to, do chakra work, where we release the energy at an energetic level. We let go, we release. And that's about saying, whatever the damage was, whatever the trauma was, being able to say, I release this. I no longer hold this. And I know that this doesn't have to be me. That what happened to me doesn't mean it's what I am. Very big distinction, guys. Very big distinction. Whatever happened to me doesn't have to be what I am. So the mind, body, spirit, quantum physics, we can see it in quantum physics, right? So it's that energy level. If that's how we feel, that's how we think. How we think then translates to the body. Because in the body, we have the chakras, we have meridian points. They're all responsible for different organs, but the body, right? So how we feel, that's why stress really affects our body, because it affects our hormonal levels. It affects our neurological our disposition. So like how the brain functions and how the brain communicates with itself, it affects all of that. That's why stress is the number one killer, because when we're stressed, it activates this part of our body, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, not getting into the medical terms, but it activates those systems that make us sick. We're living in fight or flight mode. So the body goes to these steps, these systematic steps, because it thinks it's in danger and it responds as such. And when it's in danger, it actually doesn't allow some of your organs to function, and it raises different hormonal levels and changes your neurological dispositions in order to be in that survival mode. And this is what we've all been dealing with generationally. And that's how it's passed down through our DNA. Because within our DNA, there's the instructions on this is how our brain function, this is how our body will be created. And so when we have come from a people that have been living on survival, that's in our DNA, right? Our source code, patterns created. So how do you reprogram? Is that patterns are created. Patterns are created. So they're created through repetition. Generations, right? Generations is repetition. Shut up, don't speak. A lady doesn't act like that, right? We take whatever the man gives. These are patterns that created through repetition, right? Repetition. It's habit. To reprogram, it is repetition that is necessary. Like I was talking about the mind and how we control it and how we have to tell it what to do. It's repetition. The mind, like a muscle, right? Like if you want to build a muscle, you have to keep pumping it to build it, right? Same thing with the mind. It's repetition because it's on autopilot. So it thinks you want it to, it's doing what you want it to do. So if you think negatively, it thinks that that's just, it continues to go down that pathway. You have to see the brain. If you look at a brain, the way that it looks, right? It has all these like swirlies. So you got to think about it like those are roads. And so if your brain formulated with a certain pathway of a road, the car is always going to go down that road, right? It's always going to go down that road, always going to go down that road, always going to go down that road. And if that road is negative, it's always going to think negative. It's always going to think negative or scared or fearful or this. So in order to create a new road, guess what you have to do? You have to repeat. You have to repeat. The car has to go over it and over and over and over and over in that pathway to create a new road, right? So once it creates a new road, then you can tell it, no, I don't want to go down that road. I want to go down this one. And that's the one that is used to going. So you have to reverse engineer it. You have to use habits, repetitive habits, in order to change and create new patterns. Okay? Very important, guys. You have to create repetitive habits to create new patterns. So if you're always used to, like, for instance, your body gets used to it, gets hungry at the same time. You go to the bathroom at the same time, right? In order to change that, you have to do the new way that you want to do. You have to keep doing that. So if you want to go, let's say I go to the bathroom at 3 a.m., but I want to train my body to go to the bathroom at 6 a.m. from now on. I have to not go to the bathroom at 3 a.m. I have to stop myself from doing that, hold it till 6 a.m. and then go at 6 a.m. And so then I'm going to start doing that. Same thing with hunger. If I'm used to around 11 o'clock, 11 p.m., I always get hungry. In order to stop that, I have to not eat during that time and eat earlier. And then my body's going to start getting hungry earlier. So repetition creates habits. I hope you guys understand that, right? So you have to realize what core beliefs you have in order to reconstruct them. So you have to sit there and you have to reflect and you have to figure out, how do I think about this? How do I feel about this? How do I see this? What is my perspective? Our perspective is like glasses. It's like glasses that we have is the lens that we see the world through. So we have to figure out what those lenses are. Are they rose colored? Are they blue colored? Are they yellow colored? What is the lens? Do they have, different? Are they two-tone, right? You got to figure out what are those core beliefs so you can then change it. Because without identifying it, you're not going to know what to fix. So that's really important when it comes to reprogramming. So going on to reprogramming the mind. The mind is a machine that wants to serve us. We could control the mind, control your life. Okay? So if what we have to do is be present. You have to be present. Whenever it starts thinking negative, you have to say, nope, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking this way. If you're feeling tired at work, like, oh, I hate this job. I hate being here. You have to be like, no, I'm so grateful for this job because this job is giving me what I need and it's paying my bills and it's all that I need and it's good for right now until I find what's better. You have to change that, right? You have to redirect it every time. You have to show up every time. And it's exhausting at first. It's absolutely exhausting. But you have to show up for yourself every time and say, nope, I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to think like this. Nope, not going to think like that. I'm going to think like this. Nope, not going to think like that. I'm going to think like this. Okay? So you identify the core beliefs and the perspective, and you choose your direction. You have to be there and show up every time. That's how you reprogram the mind. I hope that's clear to you guys. Reprogram the mind. How? Put it in the chat. I want to know that you guys are alive. How do you reprogram the mind? Everybody sleeping? How do you do it? Nobody knows? Should I go on? We get into the good stuff. That's right. Thank you. Replace with better habits. You got to repetition, build the habits, right? But you have to be repetitive and you have to show up. You have to show up. Okay, reprogramming the body. The body reacts to your thoughts. The body reacts to your thoughts. That's why when you're stressed, the body reacts. The body reacts to your thoughts. So if you control the mind, you control your thoughts, you control your body. That's how you get healthier. Your thoughts are guided through your chakras. The chakras hold energy. By having a steady flow of output of that kind of energy is how you clear and cleanse the chakras. The body adapts to everything over time. Whatever you do, you tell it, it will adapt. If you, like I say, if you're hungry at this time, if you go to the bathroom at this time, so you have to constantly be moving energy. You have to constantly find ways to move energy. You have to move energy, whether it's to exercise or whether it's to expression, those two ways. Exercise or expression. You have to express. You're feeling some type of way, you got to say it, or you got to paint it, or you got to write it, or you got to sing it, or you got to dance it. You got to move that energy. It is always reacting to the environment. But the body is a temple. It is a temple. So you have to treat it right. You have to fuel it properly. You have to have nutrition and water, right? Try to, have more holistic practices that aren't as harmful to the body, that aren't subduing your natural resources. And that's what most medication does. That is what most of substances do. You want to be able to get your body to produce these things naturally. And when I mean these things like dopamine, serotonin, and what's it called? Endorphins. Those are the neurological neurons that makes us feel good, that impacts our mood. So dopamine we get from like exercise, from pleasure, from laughter, from joy, right? Endorphins we get from our body, like pushing ourselves and raising our adrenaline, right? Serotonin, the same thing. So how do you get more serotonin? How you tap into serotonin is by doing things that are pleasurable and that are joyful. So you always got to keep yourself expressing, and you always got to do something that feels good to yourself so your body can feel good. You got to manage your stress. You got to transmute energy. Transmute energy. You feeling some type of way, transmute it. You're feeling angry about something, what can I do about it? And transmute that energy. Where are you putting that? Where are you putting that energy? That's how you reprogram the body. So reprogramming the spirit and the energy. So we are energetic fields of emotions, right? And these are, again, governed by our core beliefs. So knowing our core beliefs is very, very important, right? You have to understand, you have to look within and know your inner truth. You got to know your inner truth. And your inner truth means like, what do you feel and think about things? It's like going in, it's like, what do I feel? Do I feel this is right or not? Because it's so muddled underneath what we've been taught for eons and what is then also projected on an everyday basis to us, right? Through propaganda of social media, of this, that, of the world, that we lose our voice, we lose ourselves. So we got to ask ourselves, do I really agree with that? Do I really think that it's okay to do that? Do I really think that it's okay to be aggressive for war? Do I really think that it's, do I really feel okay with like being mean just because they're mean to me? Like, what do you really feel to really find your inner truth? Right? Disease and the disease in the body and in the mind is created to misalignment. So anxiety and depression comes when you are not aligned with what's going on. See, like depression and anxiety. So there's the gap between who you are and what you believe with what is, the things that are and the things that you want it to be. The gap between that is depression and anxiety. So who you truly are, right? And what it really is, what it really is and who you truly are with what you want it to be. That gap, right? So if right now you're just not capable of doing something and you're still trying to do it despite your capacities, that's anxiety and depression. You have to really be in accepting. You have to accept. Acceptance is a very big word. To accept really means something really big. To say this is what it is and I accept it. And truly inside of you, accept it. Despite the hurt, despite what you want, despite what you hope it could be, accept it. No, being able to say, okay, I wish it could be that, but it's just here. And y'all know me, so y'all know I struggle with that too. I'm very impatient. I have to struggle to that. But that's where impatience comes from. Impatience comes from not accepting where you are and just wanting to be where you want to be. And all of that creates, again, disease and splitting of the mind and the body. So heal old wounds and trauma throughout generations. That's how you reprogram the spirit and the energy, which is old scripts. You build new scripts. You connect with your inner self and your voice and intuition. You take aligned actions, meaning, align to what you truly are, who you truly are, what you truly want to be. It's about really embodying who you want to be. You want to be somebody that kind, truly embodying that. You want to be somebody that's strong, truly embodying that, right? Nature and maintaining high vibrations, which means loving yourself, bringing joy, bringing laughter. And nature is a big thing because nature teaches us and we need to ground ourselves. All of these, nature has these elements, these minerals, everything again is energy and it's connected to, right, the core of the earth and all the vibrations. And so nature really is like a trick to really aligning our energies because it's aligned to everything. It is everything, right? So nature really helps with that. And being able to and animals and all that stuff really help with that because it just centers us. But you want to nurture all of those high vibrations. And that's how you reprogram the spirits. You got to touch in with yourself. You got to really nurture being around that. So always being able to clean and cleanse energy. Okay. So what does this look like? I'm going to skip this part because I've given lots of examples. So I'm going to skip that part. So healing practices, here we go. For the mind, talk therapy. We are inside of ourselves, so it's hard to see. So having somebody, what therapy allows us to do is to have somebody outside of ourselves be able to pick up on the patterns, especially if they're trained in it, right? They can start to connect these patterns and be able to help you. So talk therapy is very powerful in that way. As I mentioned, though, talk therapy is only a part of it, which is why I do what I do, which is merge healing practices of energetic clearing and things like that. You want to do some mindset setting, right? Which is setting your mind. And you do that through, the five senses. What you hear, what you see, what you touch, what you feel, what you taste, and taste during that time becomes water, because it's about feeling your water, and what you smell, the five senses, right? You redirect always. You have to show up again and redirect. So some of these tools are books, podcasts, memes, everything with the five senses. Put on some aromatherapy, put on nice music, put on, eat good food, fresh foods that make you feel fresh, drink more water, right? Surround yourself with positive people, get out of gossip, get away from negative people, get out of drama, mind your business. Don't judge, because you judging yourself, again, is setting the wrong message. Again, we're energy, so we're absorbing all of this at a cellular level, but whether you know it or not. So show up yourself and be persistent. Healing practices for the body. We're 80% water, right? So if we drink lots of water, and a really nice trick that I learned is to actually activate the water. So the way you activate the water is that you just set your intention. Like you just say, may this water fuel me, may nourish me, may give me what I need, may, help my energy and my move. And you put it back in, you take a little bit, you set the intention, you put it back in the fridge, and then you just drink that water throughout the day. So nutrition, foods matter, because all these unprocessed things, all those pesticides, they make us lose our natural ability to create the hormonal balance that we actually need. And so the more nutritious foods and fresh foods we eat, the better. And we live in a culture, especially because of finances, that we just eat a lot of the bad stuff, right? All those yellow number 4s and red number whatever and blues are poison. We're poisoning our bodies. So if we get our bodies the right things. Now, again, remember, everything in moderation. It's okay to eat some of those things. Just eat once in a while, maybe once a month even, right? That's all. You can still have it, you still have cake if you want, but once a month, and again, if you start doing the right things, your body will get used to it. So if you stop eating sweets, you're not going to crave so many sweets. Yeah, so diseases are depleted of our natural resources, so we get a lot of cancer. We see that that's rampant. And you have to output energy, right? Energy in the body, you have to output it. So things like, exercising, drinking lots of water, eating healthy foods. But the really important one is expressing yourself. You got to find ways to express yourself, guys, because we hold so much. That's where stress comes. We hold so much in terms of our emotions, right? So we have to find ways to really express ourselves. So that could be through creativity, through journal, through talking, through the arts, through singing, dancing, like I say, anything that we're using to express ourselves. We have to express ourselves. That's an output of energy as well. This just goes into some of the scientific stuff of the body, the vagus nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is again what causes, which is caused by stress, and it activates these systems in our body where the hormones and the neurological, the neurons get out of whack. So we have to, use play and pleasure, same thing, manage stress, right? Regulate our emotions, breathe, pause, speak up. What do you want to say? What is more relevant? Conserve your energy in that way. We don't always have to fight the battle, right? Express your emotions, manage the stress by having and incorporating these things on your day-to-day. Like every day, journal a little bit. Every day, read a little bit. Every day, listen to something that's going to help you. Try to incorporate it every day, where you are, again, not just obtaining information. Again, you're expressing, you're putting it out there. Laughter is the best medicine. So try to watch something funny always, or laugh with your friends. For the soul, for the soul, for the soul. Inner self meditation, reflection, always time to reflect and meditate. Meditation can be anything. Meditate can literally be drinking a cup of coffee. It doesn't have to be like the traditional forms of meditation. Meditation really, very simply put, means tapping into yourself, listening to yourself, paying attention, and being aware of your thoughts and reflecting. That's all meditation is. So whichever way that can come, in the shower, drinking coffee, just figure out a way to do it. Doing the trauma work, healing those wounds, heal the wounds, heal those inner child wounds, those generational traumas, heal them. Find the ways to heal them. Do things that bring you joy. Be around family and friends, or the ones that bring you joy. Have creativity and expression. Follow your passions. Rest and relax. Use the mindset, the health. Affirmations are a great way to repetitively be able to change your mindset. Affirmations are really big with that. Now, what I kept on underlining about a balanced life, you want to create a schedule that has a full balance. Time for work, time for relaxation, time to take care of yourself, time to take care of your health, time for in a week, not every day, in a week, making sure you do something, you're doing something for yourself, you're doing something to relax, you're doing something, you take care of your responsibilities, right? And then you're taking care of your health, mind, body, and spirit. You want to have that in a week span. Figure it out. Even if it's 10 minutes a day, or if it's one day, or if it's in the morning, or whatever it is, figure out how to do that, but create balance in your life. And you could do that through all those examples. Solo time. Solfeggio frequencies are really awesome. So when we talk about the 5 senses, solfeggio frequencies are the 432 hertz. If you just use YouTube 432 hertz, everything will pop up about the solfeggio frequencies. And the thing behind that is that, what we most get in our world today actually go against that by design. It creates chaos in our mind. The frequencies that are mostly used in music or in programming is actually, mind effing us to actually feel chaos and to feel out of control. So solfeggio frequencies actually help our body align to what we need to. Our frequencies, again, we're energy, we're vibration, so it's the vibrations that we need. So look for 432 hertz, 432 HZ, and anything that pops up there, given what you need in the moment, will work. Feed a positive mindset. So book, podcast, all those things. Love freely. That means be kind. Love freely. Like, give your love freely. We worry so much about being too nice and being taken advantage of, or, all this stuff. Who cares? Do it because you want to, period. Because that aligns to your spirit, right? It's not about what people do or what you get back. It's about what you put out and what you're putting out. Okay? It's about what you are putting out. So remember that, because the way that you feel aligned to yourself and your spirit is if you're being true to yourself. So it doesn't matter if it means that you're someone that gives a lot or loves a lot or whatever it is, just be real to your spirit. So love freely, express yourself, do what ignites you, the things that you love. Always speak kindly to yourself. Always watch how you're speaking to yourself. Very important. Be kind and show up. Be present in the here and now. Let me tell you, the answer to everything is here, in the now, right now. You're having a bad time. How can I make this better right now? You're having a good time. How can I absorb this and amplify this? It's in the now, because time is linear. Time is not linear. Time is actually vertical, not horizontal. We are all in the same space at the same time. We don't know this, and this goes beyond, and that goes more into manifestation, which I'll give a masterclass on that. So stay tuned. It actually is vertical. We're existing at the same time, all at once, all at the same time. And so the key is being here, the here and now. A really good book that will teach you that is The Power of Now by Eckhart. What is it? Eckhart, Power of Now. Look it up. I don't remember the name off the top of my heart. Of the top of my head, the last name, but Eckhart, okay, and Power of Now, beautiful book for that. Care about the planet and all living things, because again, we are one, we are absolutely one. So again, love freely, right? Have boundaries, really big thing. You have to have boundaries. You have to say no. Have to have boundaries. Boundaries is self-care. Boundaries is self-love. Boundaries is setting standards. Boundaries is necessary. So have your boundaries and let go of what does not serve you. If it does not serve you, let it go. If you're mad about something, it does not serve you, let it go. If you can't do anything about that, if you have no control over it, let it go. Because again, manage stress. Raising your vibration, mind, body, and spirit. So simply put, know thyself. Unlearn what you know and find your truth. Love thyself in all habits. Your habits, your mindset, your environment, your boundaries, your balance. Loving thyself. Create the environment for you in all ways possible that are conducive to you. Love freely and let that heal the world. Okay? Mind your business. People are walking around so hurt, so wounded. That's why so many things happen. You don't have to worry about that. You just love freely. Do what makes you happy. Choose happiness by honoring yourself at all times. Honor yourself. I can't stress that enough. I can't, and that's my superpower. My superpower is that I've always been, bad connotation, selfish. That's my superpower. I've always cared about me, and that's what always helped me know myself, because I always made sure that I was okay. When the world was telling me I looked bad, I was shit, I was this, I was that, I was like, nope, I ain't paying attention to that. I'm still going to be sexy. I'm still going to be me. And that's my superpower. So that's why I'm sharing it. Okay. So if you guys want to share, I've already told you what it looks like. This energy bath, I want you to say it with me. If you guys want to unmute yourself, you don't have to put the camera on, but you can unmute yourself and say it with me. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know if I can unmute all, but just unmute yourself. If you're paying attention, if you're still here with me, unmute yourself. I want us to do this together. I want it to ring. I want it to be loud. Okay. So on 3, I'm going to drink some water while y'all all unmute yourself. Hello. Mic check, mic check. Nobody want to join me? Well, I'm saying it for you. I am loved. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am wealthy. I deserve it all. I am who I want to be. Money loves me, and I love money. I am a money multiplier. I am a generational wealth maker. I am abundant. I am highly favored. Things always work out in my favor. The value of my love is worth its weight in gold. I am love. I am light. I am enough. I am beautiful, a sexy mama. I rise like a phoenix. I rise like a phoenix. I rise like a phoenix. Okay, and for y'all, whoever wants this, I put a little energy bath there that you could use. If I can move this, yep. Energy bath there, really quick one, which is 24 ounces of water. You add 3 caps of white vinegar and a tablet of camphor, que al camphor. After you shower, you pour it over you. You set intention as you're pouring it over you, which is a prayer. Could be a prayer. For me, that's what I do. After that, your intention is like, may this uplift my spirit. May this uplift my vibration. May it cleanse me. May it clear me. Right. And after that, you light a small white candle and you set the intention again. Okay. So there's a little energy bath for you guys. And yeah, so live coaching session. I don't know if you guys are going to want to do that, but I offer it there. So what I'm going to do now is, if I'm able to stop the recording, because by this point, that's it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Love you guys so much. Thank you for showing up. And I hope that it has touched some of you, because I know that you may know me, we may talk all the time, but I hope that it has given you some nuggets where you're like, think of things differently. Love you guys. I'm going to still go through a little bit more, but I'm going to stop the recording now.